If your body suddenly feels strange the moment you lie down, like something inside you quietly refuses to settle, this may explain why it keeps happening night after night. And what makes this even stranger is that it often starts during the exact hours your brain should be recovering the most, usually somewhere between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when the entire body is supposed to enter its deepest state of repair. But instead of feeling calm, your mind suddenly becomes more alert. Your body starts feeling uncomfortable for no obvious reason. You shift positions over and over trying to find relief. One side feels wrong, then the other side feels worse. And no matter what you do, something still feels off. Not strong enough to feel like an emergency, but powerful enough that your body refuses to fully relax, almost like your system is quietly staying on guard while the rest of you tries to sleep. And here's the part most people completely misunderstand. They assume this is just bad sleep or normal aging, but what's actually happening underneath the surface may have nothing to do with what most people think. You've probably experienced this more times than you can count. You lie down hoping your body will finally relax. For a moment, everything seems normal. Then slowly, something begins to change. A strange pressure starts building inside your body. Not sharp enough to feel dangerous, but noticeable enough that you cannot fully ignore it. And the longer you stay still, the more aware of it you become. Sometimes it feels like discomfort in your chest. Other times, your heartbeat suddenly feels louder than usual, almost like your body is drawing attention to itself in the dark. Your breathing starts feeling slightly different, not necessarily difficult, just unfamiliar enough to feel wrong. You take a deeper breath, trying to settle yourself down, but instead of relaxing, your body becomes even more alert. And this is where many people begin feeling confused. You change positions, hoping the sensation disappears. One side feels heavy after a few minutes, the other side creates tension somewhere else. Your shoulder starts aching without explanation. Your lower back suddenly feels tight against the mattress. Your neck feels unsupported no matter how you adjust the pillow. And your body keeps searching for a position that finally feels safe. But somehow, that feeling never fully arrives. Even after you finally stop moving, your brain still feels partially awake underneath the surface. Your eyes may be closed, but your nervous system stays active. You become hyper-aware of tiny sensations in your body, the pressure in your chest, the tension in your muscles, the strange awareness of your breathing pattern. And the harder you try to ignore it, the more noticeable everything becomes. Think about how many times this has happened during the night. You reposition yourself without even realizing it consciously, sometimes dozens of times before morning arrives, and yet most people never stop to ask why their body keeps doing this. They assume it is stress, or aging, or simply one of those nights. But your body may actually be responding to something much deeper. Because these sensations are not always random. In many cases, they are connected through the same hidden pattern, a pattern most people never notice while it is happening. Your body reacts first, then your sleep begins fragmenting underneath the surface, then your brain slowly becomes more alert throughout the night, and once that cycle begins, it quietly repeats itself over and over. And this is where things start becoming even more interesting. For some people, sleeping on one side feels deeply calming almost immediately. Their breathing slows, their body starts relaxing into the mattress, their mind becomes quieter within minutes. Everything begins feeling stable and heavy in a comforting way. But for other people, that exact same position creates the complete opposite reaction. The pressure in the chest suddenly becomes more noticeable. Their heartbeat feels stronger against the pillow. Their breathing starts feeling restricted in a subtle way. The body becomes restless instead of calm, and without understanding why, they suddenly feel the urge to turn again, almost like their nervous system refuses to stay still for too long. And this is where things begin getting confusing, because the symptoms do not always look connected at first. For some people, it feels entirely physical, a strange heaviness inside the body, pressure in one side of the chest, discomfort in the neck or shoulders, a sensation that something internally feels off. But for others, the experience feels much more neurological than physical. The moment they stop moving, their brain suddenly becomes hyper-aware. Tiny sensations feel amplified in the dark. Their thoughts become louder without warning. Their body feels tired, but their nervous system stays alert. And even though nothing dangerous is happening, their brain reacts as if something still requires attention. Most people never realize how common this pattern actually is. Then there are people who experience it emotionally. A strange wave of uneasiness appears the moment the room becomes quiet. Their body feels unsettled for no clear reason. They can't explain why they suddenly feel uncomfortable lying still. They keep adjusting blankets and pillows, searching for relief, not because they consciously feel anxious, but because something internally no longer feels fully safe. And underneath all of these reactions, the same pattern may exist. That's what makes this so difficult to recognize. The symptoms appear completely different from person to person. Some notice pressure, some notice heat in the body, some notice breathing changes, some notice racing thoughts and hyper-awareness. But the body may actually be responding to the exact same hidden nighttime imbalance, and most people completely miss what connects all of it together.
I'm Dr. William Harris, a sleep specialist, and over the years I began noticing the same strange pattern appearing again and again in adults over 60. Not classic insomnia, not simple anxiety, and not the kind of sleep problem most people normally talk about. This was something far more subtle happening underneath the surface, a very specific nighttime reaction that seemed to quietly interrupt deep recovery. And what surprised me most was what appeared to trigger it. Many of these people described almost identical sensations. They would fall asleep normally at first, then somewhere in the middle of the night, their body would suddenly become unsettled without explanation. Some noticed pressure in the chest. Others described unusual restlessness that forced them to keep moving. Others felt an unexplained internal alertness even while exhausted, and almost all of them believed it was simply part of aging. But the deeper I looked into these nighttime patterns, the more I realized the body was reacting in ways that were surprisingly predictable, not random, not imagined, and not simply caused by stress alone. Certain positions seemed to trigger discomfort more consistently. Certain body sensations appeared repeatedly between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., and most people had absolutely no idea these reactions were connected. What made this even more interesting was how differently the symptoms appeared from person to person. Some people experienced breathing discomfort. Others experienced sudden heat in the body. Others felt like their brain became hyper-aware the moment they stopped moving. And because the symptoms looked so different on the surface, most people never realized they could all originate from the same hidden nighttime response. That misunderstanding is what keeps so many people trapped in the cycle. I started paying closer attention to what the body was doing before these awakenings happened, not after people fully woke up, but during the subtle moments leading into the disruption itself. Tiny changes in body tension, position adjustments during sleep, breathing instability, increased nervous system alertness. The body often reacted long before the person consciously noticed anything was wrong. And once I recognized that pattern, everything about these nighttime reactions started looking completely different, because the issue was not always the sleep itself. In many cases, the body appeared to be responding to something underneath the sleep process, something internal, something protective. Most people never notice while it is happening, and this is where the real explanation begins to emerge. This isn't random, and your body is not malfunctioning the way most people assume. In fact, many of these strange nighttime reactions may actually be protective responses built into the body itself. Your nervous system constantly monitors what is happening internally while you sleep. Long before your conscious mind notices anything unusual, your body may already be detecting subtle changes underneath the surface. And once those signals appear, your system quietly begins reacting on its own. Sometimes the body notices small shifts in internal pressure. Sometimes changes in breathing rhythm become more noticeable during deeper stages of sleep. Sometimes circulation patterns begin feeling slightly unstable in certain positions, and in other cases, tiny increases in muscle tension quietly accumulate throughout the night. Most people never consciously feel these changes at first, but the body pays attention to all of them automatically, especially during the vulnerable hours between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. That is why these reactions feel so confusing. You may go to bed feeling completely exhausted. Your body wants sleep. Your eyes feel heavy. Your muscles feel tired. And yet, the moment your body settles into stillness, something internally begins feeling slightly off for reasons you cannot fully explain. And that subtle sensation alone may be enough to trigger a reaction. The body is designed to prioritize protection before deep recovery. Even small signs of instability can activate internal alert systems during sleep. Not in a dramatic way, not like panic or fear, but through tiny adjustments happening underneath awareness. Your breathing changes slightly, your muscles become more active, your nervous system stops fully relaxing into deep restoration. This is why so many people describe the exact same experience. They feel tired, but never fully restored. They sleep for hours, but wake up mentally exhausted. Their body keeps shifting positions during the night without understanding why. And over time, their brain slowly becomes conditioned to stay more alert during sleep itself. Most people think this happens suddenly, but the process often begins much earlier than they realize. Because once the body detects something internally that feels slightly unstable, it doesn't simply ignore the signal and continue sleeping deeply. Instead, it quietly changes the way the body behaves throughout the night. Breathing patterns shift, body tension increases, micro-awakenings become more frequent, and sleep slowly becomes lighter without the person consciously noticing it happening. But the real reason behind this hidden nighttime response goes even deeper than most people imagine. What you're feeling is something I call a night mismatch. A night mismatch happens when your body and your sleeping position stop working together the way they should. Your body may still feel deeply exhausted at the end of the day. Your eyes feel heavy, your muscles want rest, but internally, something no longer feels fully stable once you lie down. And that subtle instability may quietly change how your body behaves all night long. Most people never notice when this process begins because it usually starts beneath conscious awareness. A slight shift in pressure, a subtle change in breathing mechanics, an increased tension inside the chest, neck, or shoulders. Nothing dramatic enough to immediately alarm you, but enough for the body to recognize that something feels slightly off. And once the body detects that imbalance, it reacts automatically.
That reaction is what I call the body flip signal, a subtle internal alert designed to push the body to reposition itself during sleep, not through conscious thought, but through physical discomfort, restlessness, or rising alertness. Your body suddenly wants to move even when you're exhausted. You turn to one side. Then a few minutes later, your body wants to move again. And most people never realize an internal signal may be driving that urge. Sometimes the body flip signal feels like pressure in the chest.
Sometimes it appears as tension building in the shoulders or neck. Some people experience sudden heat in the body. Others feel like their breathing changes the moment they stop moving. And for many adults over 60, the signal becomes even more noticeable during the deepest recovery hours of the night, especially between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when the nervous system becomes more sensitive. And this is where sleep often begins quietly fragmenting underneath the surface. What makes this pattern so confusing is that the body may react before the mind fully wakes up. Most people believe they wake up first and then start moving afterward. But in many cases, the body flip signal may actually activate before conscious awareness appears. The body becomes unsettled first. The nervous system increases alertness second. Then the brain slowly rises closer to wakefulness without fully understanding why. That is why so many people describe the same strange experience. They wake up already repositioning themselves in bed, already adjusting blankets and pillows, already feeling restless before they're even fully conscious. And because the process feels automatic, most people never stop to question what triggered the movement in the first place. But once the night mismatch begins activating the body flip signal repeatedly throughout the night, the entire sleep cycle may start changing in ways most people completely overlook. This may help explain why some people suddenly experience acid reflux during the night, not necessarily after eating something heavy, not always connected to digestion itself, but because certain sleeping positions may quietly increase internal pressure while the body is trying to recover. For some people, that pressure slowly builds underneath awareness until the body begins reacting automatically. And once the reaction starts, the nervous system may become far more alert than most people realize, especially during the deepest hours of nighttime recovery. Others notice pressure on one side of the body that seems impossible to fully relieve. They adjust pillows, they turn their shoulders, they reposition their hips and lower back over and over. For a few minutes, things feel better. Then the discomfort slowly returns again, almost like the body is refusing to settle into one stable position for very long. And this repeated cycle may quietly continue all night underneath the surface. Some people experience chest discomfort in very specific positions, not severe enough to immediately feel dangerous, but noticeable enough that the body becomes hyper-aware of it in the dark. The moment they stop moving, their breathing suddenly feels different. Their chest feels tighter against the mattress. Their body becomes more alert even though they are physically exhausted. And the body flip signal may begin activating again without warning. Others describe a strange sensation of shortness of breath while lying still. Not always true breathing difficulty, but a subtle feeling that the body cannot fully relax into normal breathing patterns. They take deeper breaths, trying to calm themselves down. They reposition their chest and shoulders repeatedly. And the harder they try to relax, the more aware they become of every sensation happening inside the body. That hyper-awareness alone may quietly interfere with deep recovery throughout the night. You've probably noticed that some nights feel surprisingly easier than others. One night, your body settles relatively quickly. Another night, it feels impossible to get comfortable no matter what you try. That inconsistency is what frustrates many people the most, because the problem feels unpredictable, random, impossible to fully understand. And most people never realize their body may be reacting differently based on subtle nighttime changes they cannot consciously detect. This is where many people begin forcing sleep instead of understanding what the body is doing. They try to ignore the discomfort. They try to stop moving. They try to make themselves sleep. But the body may still be reacting underneath the surface the entire time. Small shifts in tension, changes in breathing stability, repeated body flip signals quietly disrupting recovery again and again throughout the night. The more people try to control these nighttime sensations, the more aware their body they often become, They start paying attention to every small discomfort, every pressure point against the mattress, every unusual sensation in the chest or shoulders, every tiny shift in breathing rhythm during the night. And once that awareness begins increasing, the nervous system may quietly become even more alert underneath the surface. At first, it happens subtly. They reposition themselves more frequently without fully realizing it. They adjust pillows, searching for relief. They start checking whether one side feels better than the other. They take deeper breaths, trying to calm the body down. And little by little, their focus shifts away from recovery and towards monitoring sensations instead. That is when sleep often begins becoming lighter and more fragmented. The body keeps reacting throughout the night. Small increases in tension continue building underneath awareness. The body flip signal activates again and again. Micro adjustments happen constantly during sleep. And even when the person appears asleep externally, the brain may still remain partially alert internally, not fully awake, but no longer entering the deepest restorative states consistently.
Most people never realize their body may be repeating this cycle all night long because they do not remember every micro-awakening by morning. They only remember waking up exhausted, heavy, mentally foggy, emotionally drained before the day even begins. And over time, they slowly start believing their sleep quality is simply getting worse with age. But the real pattern may be far more specific than that. Think about how strange this feels for so many people. They spend 7 or 8 hours in bed. Their eyes stay closed most of the night. They technically sleep, and yet their body still wakes up feeling unrested, almost like recovery never fully happened underneath the surface. That contradiction leaves many people deeply frustrated because the amount of sleep no longer matches how the body feels afterward. But here's the part most people never consider. The problem may not actually be sleep itself. It may be the hidden signals happening underneath sleep the entire night. Signals the body continues reacting to automatically. Signals that slowly prevent the nervous system from fully letting go. And once those internal reactions begin repeating night after night, the body may quietly train itself to stay more alert during the exact hours it should be recovering the most. And that deeper pattern changes everything about how these nighttime disruptions are understood. And this is exactly why some people started searching for ways to help their body calm this nighttime response naturally. Not by forcing the body into unconsciousness, not by shutting the brain down artificially, and not by relying only on stronger sleep medications that leave them feeling heavy the next morning. Instead, many began looking for ways to help the body reduce the body flip signal itself. Because once that internal alert starts calming down, the entire nighttime experience may begin feeling completely different. What makes this approach so interesting is that the goal is not to knock the body out. The goal is to help the nervous system stop reacting so aggressively underneath the surface, to help the body feel more stable while lying still, to help breathing patterns feel calmer during the deepest hours of the night, and to support a more settled nighttime state before the body flip signal fully activates, especially during those sensitive hours between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., when the body becomes far more reactive to internal imbalance. Some doctors have even started recommending natural nighttime support designed specifically to help the body relax out of a night mismatch state before bed, not as a sedative, but as a form of nighttime support for the nervous system and recovery process itself, particularly for adults over 60, whose nighttime regulation patterns often become more fragile with age, because as the body changes over time, small disruptions during sleep may start creating much larger reactions internally, and most people never realize how sensitive those nighttime signals have become. What surprised many people most was not simply falling asleep faster. It was how different their body felt during the night itself. Less internal tension,
less pressure while lying still, less constant repositioning throughout the night. Many described feeling calmer underneath the surface before they even fully noticed changes in sleep quality. And that subtle shift may be far more important than most people understand. There's more information about the doctor-approved nighttime support some people have been using in the pinned comment below, especially for people who constantly wake up feeling physically unsettled during the night, or those who feel exhausted despite spending enough hours in bed. Because in many cases, the problem may not be a lack of sleep opportunity at all. It may be the body quietly struggling to maintain a stable recovery state underneath the surface. And once people begin understanding that difference, their entire perspective on sleep often starts changing. But here's what makes this even more interesting. Many people who reduced the body flip signal also described improvements they were not expecting at all. Not just deeper sleep, but fewer strange sensations while lying down, less nighttime restlessness, less hyper-awareness of their breathing and body position in the dark. Almost like the body itself stopped resisting stillness throughout the night. And what may actually be causing that hidden nighttime instability in the first place goes even deeper than most people realize. If this has been happening to you, your body is not failing the way you may have feared, and it is not simply all in your head. Your body may actually be reacting exactly the way it was designed to react when something internally feels unstable during the night. The discomfort you feel while lying still, the sudden need to reposition yourself over and over, the strange internal alertness that appears without warning, all of it may be connected through the same hidden nighttime response. For many people, the biggest relief comes from finally realizing they are not imagining these sensations, because the experience often feels difficult to explain to other people. You feel exhausted, yet your body refuses to fully settle. You spend hours in bed, yet wake up feeling unrested. And over time, many people quietly begin blaming themselves for something their body may be doing automatically underneath the surface. That misunderstanding creates even more frustration night after night. The strange pressure in the chest, the feeling that one position suddenly becomes unbearable after a few minutes, the restless urge to keep adjusting pillows and blankets, the hyper-awareness of breathing in the dark, the sensation that your nervous system never fully powers down. Most people assume these are separate problems happening randomly, but underneath all of them, the body may actually be responding to the same hidden night mismatch pattern.
And once people begin understanding that possibility, their relationship with sleep often starts changing immediately, because they stop seeing themselves as broken sleepers. They stop believing their body is simply failing with age, and they begin recognizing that the nervous system may be trying to protect them in ways they never noticed before. That shift alone often reduces part of the nighttime tension many people carry into bed. But the deeper explanation behind the night mismatch goes far beyond simple stress or discomfort, and this is where things become even more surprising. What makes this hidden response so difficult to recognize is that the body usually reacts quietly before conscious awareness appears. The nervous system senses subtle instability first. Then the body flip signal activates underneath the surface. Then sleep gradually becomes lighter and more fragmented throughout the night. And by morning, most people only remember feeling exhausted without understanding what truly happened during those hours in bed. That missing connection is what keeps the cycle repeating for so many people. But once the hidden pattern becomes visible, everything about these nighttime reactions begins making more sense. The discomfort, the restlessness, the sudden alertness between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., the feeling that your body never fully settles into deep recovery. All of it may originate from the same internal response your body has been quietly triggering all along. But what actually causes a night mismatch in the first place is not what most people think.